Hi friends, I'm Jennifer Cook and I am so glad you came to paint with us today. We have this great Mandalorian Star Wars painting with Grogu, who we all love and adore, of course. This painting is super fun, it's pretty easy, so I think you're going to enjoy it and have a good time with it. First of all, I would like for you to watch this setup video, make sure you have everything ready. Make sure you're not painting directly on your mom's good kitchen table. Put something down, get your water ready, have your paints ready. Keep your paints covered until you're ready to use them, and if you take a break in between, cover them back up so they don't dry out while you're away getting a snack or whatever you're doing. Also, if you need to pause the video, so like I'll paint a step and then you can hit pause on the video and then you can paint it and then you can hit play again and see the next steps. So just pause and then paint and take your time and have fun with it. There's no rush to it. We just want you to have a good time and enjoy it. Go to the library, read some books, and we'll get started. So you should have 3 brushes, a big flat brush, looks like this, a small flat brush that looks like this, and a little round brush that looks like this. We're going to start in the background like we normally do, and we're going to use our big flat brush. So if you want to get it wet and squeeze the water out of it, clean wet water, squeeze the water out of it. We're going to start with the thing that's furthest from us and work our way towards us. This is furthest from us and it's also the lightest color. So we're definitely going to start with that because we don't want to have blue and purple in our water and then try to go paint yellow. It'll turn like brown or muddy something. It won't be pretty yellow like it is. So we are using a deep yellow and we're going to use white in the sky. So let's put a few little white streaks in the sky. So just tap the tip of your brush in the white paint and all your brush strokes are going to go horizontal. So I'm turning my brush so I'm making a skinny line like this. And just put a few streaks through there. Even some down, maybe some down in here, little smaller ones. Because as things get further away from you in the sky, they get smaller. So I'm just kind of making smaller ones. And this would be your biggest. And I know you can't see that white on there, but I just put a few streaks. It's not completely filled in. Now I'm not cleaning my brush because we don't need to. I'm going to go straight to yellow. I'm going to tap it on the tip of my brush like this. And we're just going to, I'm going to turn this skinny like that. We're going to go from one side to the other. Just go back and forth from one side to the other. And whenever you go across that white, it'll pick it up and mix. That'll look really pretty. Tap a little more yellow on your brush. I'm going to let this down for a minute. Make sure you get your corners nice and covered. The reason I like to turn it so it's skinny is because it makes it look a little more streaky, like skinny streaks like the sky would naturally have. Up here I'm getting it flat and covered. I'm going to go back over it with skinny streaks. Just work my way down. It gives it a layered effect. It makes it look like it's going back in space. Just like that. Oh, we just love Grogu. He's so cute and adorable. I'm going to touch around that hill. Yeah, I know I went over top of it. It's okay. If it's not dry, we'll wipe it up. Dry by the time we paint the next section. We'll just wipe it up. And I'm going to go over the Mandalorian a little bit. I can still see his line, his outline. If not, you can just take a paper towel and wipe it off like that so you can see it. There you go. And just do some streaks in here. You want everything going from one side to the other, no stops and starts. Sometimes people try not to go over this, and then they have like a gap between the sky and the mountains, and in real life there's no gaps between the sky and the mountains, so just go over it so you don't have, and then you can wipe it up with a paper towel, like that. Oh, I got a brush here. I'm going to pick it off. There we go. Brush back over it. Alright, now I'm going to add a little more white on my brush. I didn't clean it. I just add a little white, dab it off like that. I'm going to put some streaks back in here. All skinny brush, all horizontal. Just wherever you think they should go. Down here there'll be small streaks. Up here they would be bigger streaks. Just to give it some variation in that yellow. Alright, I like that. Do you like yours? I hope so. Alright, while we have yellow on the brush, we're going to get these edges. So start right here, where the sky ends, and just go all the way around. A little yellow, a little white. Just kind of touch it. Check all three sides. And just the top part where the sun is. So can you see I've started where the sky is, went up, over, and stopped where the sky is, right there. Alright. And we're going to clean that brush. You kind of have to jab it down in the water to get that paint out of there. Then you're going to take your fingers and squeeze the water out of it. So hold it over your cup like this and squeeze the water out of it. So it's pretty dry. Now we have this lighter blue. It's called Cobalt Blue, but it's really pretty. Almost like a denim color. I really like that color. It's pretty. And we are going to kind of turn our brush so it's flat, making a skinnier line. We're just going to kind of follow the outline of this. You have big chunks of yellow. Wipe it off first so it doesn't make it green. You know, and go right up to him. We might need to take our little brush here, just kind of outline him a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because he's going to be black. He's not going to be like, you know, painted in detail. He's going to be more of a silhouette in black. So black will cover this blue once it dries. So it doesn't have to be completely detailed. Just so you keep him so that you can see where he's at, you know. Don't lose the outline of it because I'm not there to fix that for you. So outline around little Grogu. I always call him Baby Yoda though. And outline around this side. And I'm just painting sideways away from it. Stick this brush in water, get it clean so it doesn't dry like that. And we're going to go back to the big brush with the Cobalt Blue. And we're going to follow the shape of that mountain. So just follow the shape, the outline of the mountain. Just keep doing if I paint this way, I'll make the mountain look flat. So I'm painting up like that to make the mountain look like an actual mountain. Just go. Go down here. That can swish down. We can just start filling it in. A little bit darker. Make sure there's no gaps between the Mandalorian and the mountain. Alright, now we're going to do the other side over here. Just kind of load your brush up. I'm just going to outline around that, go over top of that, pencil line that. Start following the contour, the outline of that mountain. Make sure you get that edge good. And while we have blue on our brush, we're going to start here and get those sides. That way we can hang it straight up on the wall. You don't have to frame it or anything. You just, with your parents' permission, of course, stick it straight up on the wall. Just get those edges like that. Cute. I had a chunk of paint on my Mandalorian. I don't want to leave a chunk of paint there because it would be thick and hard to paint over later. Alright. And I'm going to clean my big brush. And I'm going to go to purple. It's actually called violet. Looks like this. I'm just going to turn it so I'm making a skinny line. I'm going to outline. Go over that pencil mark with this because this darker will cover that pencil mark. And just follow the shape of that. So we want to follow the shape as we paint. So see how I'm making I'm going like a hump like that. Get more paint. So it looks like he's standing on a hill. If I paint it flat, then it's not going to look like a hill. So you got to follow that shape as you paint. There we go. Now take that purple and get your edges. Alright. Now we're going to clean our brush. Squeeze all the water out of it. Dry it off as much as you can on your paper towel. And I want you to put more, let me show you before we do it. Okay, so just barely on the tip, put a little black. See how little tiny bit it is? And now I'm going to dab it on my paper towel. So I'm dabbing it off. Like I just dabbed it off, so there's hardly any on there at all. And I'm gonna put a few little streaks in here. Little shadows. Just kind of following the contour of the shape a little bit. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off and get the blue off of it. I'm going to dab just a tad bit of black on there and dab it off. You do not want a ton of black on there because you'll have black streaks everywhere. So I dabbed it off on my paper towel and try to get it all off if you can. And then you just go and you follow the contour of this a little bit with a little bit of that dark streak. There we go. Wash that brush out. And once it dries, if you want to add a little bit more, you could add a little bit more. You always add more. All right. So now we are down to The Mandalorian and Grogu. And we have two options of brushes. We have the round brush. We have this little tiny flat brush. A lot of times I have more control with the little tiny flat brush than anything, and then I use this to go in and get where I can't fit this. So we're going to go straight black. Wipe your brush off like on your tray. So you take your black, you take your tray, wipe it off like this. You see what I'm doing? On your tray. And get it as flat as possible. See how flat that is? Now, without sticking my hand in here, you would have time to pause this and let it dry for a few minutes, like maybe 5-10 minutes. But I'm going to try really hard not to stick it in my hand. You can tell I'm not being successful. But we're going to take this and try to get in here and outline. So I'm just going to put the flat side on the edge of this. Just try to outline and then fill in those little spots. If he has a big chunk of wet paint on him, wipe that off with a paper towel, make sure it's good dry. So if you can't fit this flat brush in there, then use your little round brush and get in there. But I really do have a lot better control with this flat brush. I know that probably doesn't even make sense, but that's just the way it is. And so I'm just trying to go through and outline him. And we might have to do more than one coat of black on this to get it to cover. You definitely want your brush as dry as possible so it's not thinning that black out. There we go. See how I just lay that flat side against it? The flat side against the edge. Then go back and just touch it and fill in. And you may want to switch to your smaller brush on this little part. But I do feel like if I just touch those flat areas, that's straighter than if I tried to do it, you know, just with a round brush and just like try to pull it straight. Now I do think I'm going to have to get in Grogu's ears with this little round brush. So I'm going to roll it in my paint. So I stick it on a paint tray and then I roll it on the side of the tray to get that flat, that point. I'm going to start at the tip of his ears and then just pull. Try to keep his head round. Now I'm just getting the edges and filling it in. Just touching up anything I see that needs to be touched up. I kind of touched this with my hand, so I'm going to get my handprint out of there. There we go. Alright. So now the only thing is if you see you want to add a little more shadow. Now that it's probably dried a little bit, and your brush might be dry a little bit. With a dry brush and just a tad bit of black and dab it off. A little shadow in there. Alright, looks good. How'd you do? Hopefully you had fun and enjoyed that. I'm going to take my little round brush and I'm going to sign my name on here. When you do it, you want to keep it small. You can do it in like a brush like this or a Sharpie. Either one is fine. And I don't think it'll show up down here where we would typically put it. That's why I went ahead and put it up there. And I'm just going to lightly sign. So and I'm just rolling in between each letter. I'm just rolling my tip in black paint. And just remember you gotta paint with the tip. Paint with the tip of your brush, like just the tip. There. Alright. Check your edges. Make sure your edges are all painted, and if you need to go back and touch up any little details, now would be the time to do that. But other than that, you know, you finished your Grogu Mandalorian painting. So we hope you have fun. Post pictures on the library website so we can see what you did. And hopefully we'll see you next year in person. Have a good day. Bye.